Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about how the crazy high inflation over the past year has forced my family to adopt a much more minimalist lifestyle. I know many of you have been impacted by the soaring costs of housing, food, gas and other basic necessities. So I thought it would be interesting to share how we've had to alter our lifestyle, cut back on expenses, and learn to live with less in order to still afford the essentials. Changing our mindsets. A little over a year ago, we were living a pretty comfortable life. We weren't extravagant spenders by any means, but we also didn't think too much about our spending. We'd eat out a couple times a week, buy stuff we didn't really need, and generally just felt like our incomes could support our lifestyle. But then inflation started skyrocketing in early 2022 and suddenly the things we needed to live, food, utilities, housing, gasoline, shot up in costs by 20–50%. It felt like overnight. At first we tried keeping up our lifestyle by cutting back in little ways here and there. But eventually we realized we needed to make bigger changes if we wanted to still afford necessities plus put some into savings. This meant completely shifting our mindset and being willing to majorly simplify how we live. No more impulse purchases. No more always getting what we want when we want it. We've had to focus only on needs versus wants and distinguish clearly between the two. Cutting out discretionary spending. So one of the first big changes was cutting way back on discretionary spending. Anything that wasn't an absolute must-have for basic living had to go. Things like cable TV packages, Netflix subscriptions, memberships or subscriptions we didn't really use, going out for entertainment and meals. These used to be normal parts of our lifestyle that suddenly felt like major luxuries we couldn't continue justifying. Just being more conscious about discretionary spending and asking, do we really need this? Before any purchase has made a huge difference. Having a strict weekly discretionary budget has helped a lot with this too. Eating out and groceries. Another change that was hard but has probably saved us hundreds of dollars per month is cutting way back on eating out and reducing grocery costs. With menu prices rising so much at restaurants, getting takeout or having date nights out just doesn't fit into the budget anymore when that $40.50 could cover several days of groceries instead. On groceries, we've started being a lot more diligent about making grocery lists, sticking to them strictly without impulse purchases, buying generic brands as much as possible, and using apps to find digital coupons. I've also started batch meal prepping a few basic recipes for lunches and dinners each week rather than buying ingredients for different elaborate meals every night. It simplifies cooking and reduces food waste when we buy ingredients with just the weekly meal plan in mind. Cutting utility and household costs. Besides spending-related changes, we've also made an effort to cut utility and household costs where possible. This means doing things like running dishwasher and washing machine only when full, turning off lights religiously, lowering the thermostat temp in winter and raising it in summer. Basic stuff, but it all adds up over months. We invested in some smart home products like a programmable thermostat and light bulbs that have helped automate some of these cost-saving habits. Focusing on experiences over things. The hardest part about these lifestyle changes has honestly been feeling like we can't buy anything fun or new without feeling super guilty about it. Since we've always enjoyed adding little upgrades here and there for our home, or buying nice things for ourselves, it's been an adjustment to let go of that mindset. We've been trying to shift focus from acquiring physical things to spending money on experiences instead that enrich our lives in less material ways. Like splurging on an annual zoo membership for family trips rather than random impulse buys off Amazon. Or doing more outdoorsy day trips on weekends that are fun but free. It's about trying to find joy in different parts of life rather than stuff. Saving up an emergency fund. All the money we've saved from these lifestyle changes hasn't simply been going towards more frivolous things. With the economy so unstable and the future feeling uncertain, we put the majority of the money we saved over the past 10 months into finally building a solid emergency fund. Having 6 months of living expenses banked away helps me sleep so much better at night knowing we have a cushion if anything happens with our jobs, health, the economy, etc. This was honestly the smartest financial move we could have made considering the state of things. I'd encourage you to make building an emergency fund a priority during these crazy times as well if you haven't already. Having a nest egg makes weathering storms like inflation or potential recession much more manageable. The takeaway. So, in closing, becoming involuntary minimalists over this past extremely rough year financially has certainly not been all smiles and fun. It's required some real mental adjustment and difficult lifestyle changes to let go of parts of life we used to consider normal. But the insights we've gained about needs versus wants, focusing less on stuff and more on experiences, and building financial resilience have all been invaluable. I hope sharing a transparent look at how much inflation has impacted us and what adjustments we chose to make helps some of you also trying to navigate this challenging economy. Let me know in the comments below if you can relate and how your family is doing. And if minimalism is a lifestyle you already embrace voluntarily, share any wisdom or tips. Thanks friends for watching, and I'll see you next time.